I very recently discovered the game Reverse 1999, and I love it so much. I feel like I'm so behind. There's so much to catch up on, and I thought it'd be fun to kind of journal my thoughts as I go through the game. I don't know if anybody would be specifically interested in that. People who have played Reverse 1999, maybe it will be fun to hear me experience it for the first time. Or maybe it'll interest you as someone who hasn't played the game. You can get a little taste of what's to come. I just finished Chapter 1, and I am here to give you all of my thoughts on it and on the game in general so far. Reverse 1999 has such an impeccable art style that has been very capturing. I love the music so far. It's very relaxing, honestly, especially with like the rain sounds at the beginning and end of each story beat that you play. I also really like the length of each story mission, how they're not usually longer than a few minutes, so it's great for mobile. If you don't have a lot of time, you can just do like 1 or 2 real quick. In case you haven't played this game, I'll give you a little summary of the setup. I believe we start out in like the 1940s. Our primary character is from the year 1999. There's this thing called the storm that is sort of like making time regress, and we don't know why. We don't know what it is or what it does, but it seems like it's erasing present history and bringing time backwards. And the only people who can survive this are arcanists, mages, people with magic. They can live through that. And I don't even know if it's like all of them or just some who can persist, but some people are okay and are moving backwards with time. And that's the main premise of the game. We play as Vertin, and she is the timekeeper. So she can see like when a storm is coming and how long she has before it happens, and is safe in the storm. She's the only one who is safe inside of it. I had known about Reverse 1999 for about a year, but I had never checked it out because I've always got another game on my plate. But my wife is really in the mood for a stylish gacha game with a good story that isn't here to waste your time. And I suggested Reverse 1999 as one to try, because I had seen screenshots and it looked very interesting, and it immediately really hooked her, and she convinced me to start it too, so here I am. And I'm really glad I did it. It's been intriguing so far. I've been taking a lot of notes, specifically because after my wife started the game, she was like, ooh, the story. It can be tough to follow because this is a Chinese game. You could definitely tell that it hasn't been translated perfectly, and sometimes the wording of sentences is kind of convoluted or strange. It's definitely doable. It just takes some focus and intention. But I really like the vibes. It definitely gives like kind of Doctor Who in the best way. Something very Doctor Who is that our version of the TARDIS, kind of, our little safe space, is inside of a magic suitcase that is safe from the storm and all of the bad stuff outside. I'm curious how big our little suitcase pocket dimension is, because there's a whole lake in there, and that's where you do the summons, the pulls for the gacha characters. That's where the gacha happens, in the lake. And I'm like, how is there a lake in our little pocket dimension? And like kind of a forest. So would love to get the bounds of that. I like Vertin a lot as a protagonist. Her outfit is so good. I also love that we are a female protagonist. And you know, I feel like in gacha games, you're always kind of into the characters that you can pull, right? You're like, ooh, they're attractive, they're cute, they're pretty, like I want to pull them. And often, you know, I feel like the main character in a gacha game gets shipped with all of the other characters, so it's fun that we are female. I'm definitely curious when we're gonna get Vertin's backstory. I could see that being something that they like draw out for a really long time or give us kind of early on as a way to connect with her. But hearing that she is the character who's from the year 1999 and doesn't have clear memories of her time then, like she can't totally remember her mom, doesn't really know what happened to her. I like Sonetto so far. She's okay. She's not my favorite. She's definitely a perfectionist. That's what I'm getting. Definitely worked hard in school, studied hard, definitely admires Vertin, but I want more from her character, and I hope that we will get to know her a little bit better as the story progresses and see her as more than just a goody two-shoes. I feel like maybe Vertin and Sonetto were close back in school. I feel like Sonetto is often referencing when they were in school together, and I'm like, is this a ship? Am I supposed to be shipping you two? Some of the characters are so crazy too, like there's not much of an explanation for them, at least not yet, Like there's Apple, who is literally just a floating apple, and that's his thing. Being an apple? Hello? I hope we get some good deep cut apple lore later on. I also love that Dr. Pepper is confirmed to exist in this universe just under the name Dr. Papper, and that's what it took to get Regulus to join the Institute, an endless supply of Dr. Papper. I mean, same girl, that would work on me. The character that I am the most interested in right now is definitely Schneider. I really like her. She was like spooky at first, and she hits on Verton. Okay, queer queen. I love her accent and her look. She's depicted as more of a villain, and she works for the spooky forget-me-not. But we get some information that our characters do not, in the way that we overhear some of Schneider's phone calls, like with her mom. We learn that she's searching for her sister, Marianne, who's been kidnapped, and we end up finding out that it was Forget-Me-Not who employs Schneider, who kidnapped her sister and gave her truth serum. Very concerning. What's up with that? We don't really know the details, but I'm glad that at the end of chapter 1, at least, Schneider did get her sister back. What happened to them after, I don't know, but I hope that they're okay. But yeah, I find her very intriguing. I know she's not like a playable character that we can have right now, which is upsetting, to say the least. I'm very upset about that. I want her. I need her. Please. She feels like the most complex of the characters that we have so far, and I would love to meet more characters like her, of her level of complexity. I really like Sotheby. Sotheby's outfit is probably my favorite of the characters we've gotten so far, like favorite character design of anyone I've met. Her big fluffy green dress and her big hat. Oh, I just love it. The drama. But like, how did she link up with our characters in this plot? Sonetto just like got in her car at some point in the woods. So like, I don't really know what the connection is there, but I like her. And I want to see more from her. Also, why does she call her car the Auto Island? Again, a bunch of the things that they do and say in this game, just they don't make complete sense. And I'm like, this is probably a translation thing, but I think it's charming. I'm definitely very suspicious of the people who work at the Institute, like Madame Z and X. Speaking of X, God, I hate his outfit. It doesn't make any sense. He's wearing this like lab coat jacket that can't actually be buttoned. And then like he's wearing some kind of laced thing underneath. And it just, my fashion brain. But I'm very suspicious of him and Madame Z. I need to know what's going on with them. I don't totally understand what Manus Vindictae is yet, besides the fact that they are the enemy. They bad. They no good. And that it seems like they want to encourage the spread of the storm for their own benefit. It seems like they're using it as a way to recruit more members to join them. And like, maybe they're the people who triggered the storm. It's pretty unclear. Even though Manus Vindictae is like the main villain, it seems, it feels like the Foundation is also bad. You know, they're not telling the public about the storm. That's suspicious. I guess maybe there are multiple bad parties at play. Chapter 1 ended off with a very interesting little cliffhanger with Druvis III, who we met very briefly in the woods earlier, who seemed cool and chill and like whimsical and weird, but we meet her again at the very end of chapter 1, and she's got on this spooky black mask that we know that Manus Vindictae has been trying to get onto all of their people and being like, you're gonna be safe from the storm if you put on one of our masks, you're one of our people. But it felt like she was maybe being mind controlled. Then we finally got the mask off of her at the end, and then she was being normal, so I'm assuming we're gonna learn more about that in the next chapter, but was a little concerning. Those are my overall thoughts. I really like chapter 1. I'm excited to play chapter 2, and I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts.